A blind man can see that.
This guy was the runner-up in the Heisman last year. The runner-up.
He cost you
the runner-up. The guy who won the Heisman's in the NFL right now, and he's a terrible
performance. His performance cost that football team the game.
That game was lost before we ever got on the field.
And that's exactly what I told you.
Get there at midnight?
It would not have mattered.
No, our scheduling people came through, and the scoreboard, which I do want to go back to when we talk about. You watch, Auburn's going to come out with some crazy LED lights in their stadium. It's going to come through because Georgia's already copied it, and so little brother number 2 is going to wind up.
What does little brother do whenever he gets aggravated and whenever you're beating him in basketball? He starts deflecting. He starts talking about how ugly your girlfriends are.
Really?
Yeah.
Basketball? Okay.
Y'all got beat.
Tell Avery I said hey.
Y'all were number 3 in the country?
Tell Avery I said hey.
Number 3 in the country?
Not in my poll, we weren't.
He's all about the poll.
Oh, yeah. He's all about his poll.
It's all about the poll.
He is all about his poll.
What I like, I'm not a poll guy. You're about the poll. I'm not about the poll.
I'm not a poll guy either.
What I'm about is the end of the season and how it shakes out. You know what I mean? How it shakes out and how it goes. So,
of course, here's the other part. Just wait a second, fair guy. Here's the other part of that. They will play a legitimate national championship. Okay, somebody will. I'm not saying Alabama. I'm not saying Clemson.
No, not this year. They won't.
But see, and in his mind, it's never going to be legitimate because he's calling Clemson a paper champion now. Nothing's going to ever satisfy that guy.
Trent's like me. He played multiple sports, and so Trent can speak to this from an authoritative manner. In Little League, high school, college, pro, baseball, basketball, and football, tell me the one sport that doesn't settle it on the field for its national champion. You're voted in. You are voted in. You don't have to win anything to win something bigger. You are voted in. I got a news flash for all of you. If you're not your conference champion, you were not the national champion. Point blank, period.
We're going back to this, huh?
You get voted in. It's a popularity contest.
Deflection.
You get voted in.
Flexion.
But so you disagree with us going in that year, even though we won it?
I absolutely disagree.
But you won't.
I absolutely disagree.
If Auburn would have been in that position, let me tell you what he would be saying right now.
We were.
We should have been in. We were the Cinderellas. We should have been there all along. We proved everybody wrong. That's why the polls are no good, and that's why this is no good. They had Auburn ranked and left for dead, and look at it. We came back and beat everybody and won it.
Anytime you're your conference champion, you have earned the right to play for something bigger if something bigger is left to play for. And if you haven't done that, if you haven't navigated that, then you're out. You are out.
This is not high school.
If you're one of the 4 best, voted on.
Popularity contest, 12 people.
That's the system you got.
How does Bama win any popularity
contest? That's the system you've got.
It is not the system we have in every other sport at every other level.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
It's college football.
But you are acting like an insane man saying that it doesn't matter when that's the system that you've got.
I am saying get on the field.
If Auburn could get there that way, you would be wholeheartedly for it.
You have to work with the cards that
it would never be that way. We would never want it that way. We would never accept that. We would decline the invitation. We would decline the invitation.
Maybe that's why you're not on trouble with staff anymore.
Well, maybe. We're fair people.
No, you know y'all wouldn't decline it.
We'd decline it.
See,
no, he wouldn't decline it.
That's one of those where you get that little.
He'd be on his Victory Tour road trip, and he'd have the Pinto loaded up, and he'd be heading to wherever the game's going to be.
Are we still up?
Yeah, we're still up.
Yeah. No, we would decline it. You got to win something to play for something bigger, and y'all have positioned yourselves with all the
winning,
the homers in the media,
the winning that we've done.
No, but the people they're scared to say. But
when you win, you get the benefit of the doubt.
See, I feel like the media is against us.
Are you really saying let me ask you this. They get voted in because they're scared of Nick Saban?
Let me ask you this. I want you to tell me how this is fair. I want you to tell me how this is fair. If and I don't think it'll happen.
Yeah, I'm on it.
I got it. Yeah, I'm on it.
If and it hadn't happened in 3 years. In some of these other polls, Central Florida is ranked somewhere.
And I blame y'all for that.
Okay.
I blame y'all for all that stuff.
If Central Florida loses, do you know where the people who vote are going to put them? If they lose one game, you know where they're going to go?
I could really care less.
They're going to disappear.
Because this isn't Roll Tide.
If Alabama loses one game, you know where they go? virtually, they may rise.
Time out.
Most of some of these bowls.
Time out. Well,
it was a tough loss on the road. Had a tough injury.
Time out.
But you have said
let's go back to the Harvey Updike.
We have to take the past into account. It has to be taken.
Let's go to the Harvey Updike show where you yourself said Auburn can afford to lose a game and still make national championship, and I agreed with you.
They in this instance.
Okay, so why can't Alabama?
In this instance,
so why can't Alabama?
Why can't every team then, Tony? Why can't every team?
When LSU's number 2 and we're number 3 or number 1 and number 2, whatever that was,
can Kentucky?
And it was a 3-point game. And it was a 3-point game. Well, if the situation sets up just right, if Kentucky's ranked number 1 and they're playing Vanderbilt and they're ranked number 2 and it's a 2 or 3 point game,
if Kentucky,
why couldn't one of them get in back in?
If Kentucky loses to Georgia and Georgia goes undefeated, which would leave Kentucky out of the SEC championship game. If Kentucky lost one game and did not play in the SEC championship game, do you think they'd be put in a 14 playoff?
Let me add,
it depends on the season.
They would not.
It depends on the season.
Would not.
In this
you're kind of admitting Alabama's superiority.
In this hypothetical scenario, which our leader and us as well hate hypothetical, it's irrelevant. But if Kentucky had won 5 out of the last 10 national championships, then would they?
Why did you win them though? Because they were given to you. Everything you have is a split. Everything has an asterisk beside it. Nothing was earned. You saw Mac Brown. Mac Brown said that if Colt McCoy doesn't get hurt, they win. So I believe him. You calling Mac Brown a liar? I won't sit here and listen to it. Are you calling Mac Brown a liar? I will not. Winning. That's Coach Brown. I won't listen to it.
Winning.
He's a good man.
Winning.
He said it.
Well, if it makes you feel better, Jason Bossman Thomas agrees with you.
Kentucky would not be in. If they lost one game and it was to Georgia and they did not play in the SEC championship game, they would not put in. They'd put in a 2-loss Ohio State in front of them because they'd be voted in.
Oh, my gosh.
I mean, people do take the past into consideration. They do look at the Jimmies and Joes that are out there on the field, the body of work, what it can produce, and what history does tell us. I mean, unfortunately, if you don't like that, then those things are still the way it is.
I'm very comfortable. I am very, very comfortable with what we do with Alabama on the field. Now, this is kind of taking.
What do you mean?
No, this is taking a shot. I'm very comfortable with the series
46-36.
46-36, yeah. Whatever it is, 46-36. And this speaks, and this is Auburn's problem. This is an Auburn issue, but this is also a fact, and this is fair. The Auburn-Alabama game has nothing to do with Alabama since Coach Saban's been there. Has nothing. If Auburn ever shows up in that game with 9 wins, we've never lost.
Oh my God!
And that's a fact.
Did Kennedy just text you?
No, Kennedy didn't text me anything. Everybody knows that. If Auburn's good, they win that game every single time. The problem is we're not consistently good. But when we're good, you're not going to beat us. You've never beat us. You've never experienced it. You never will.
You know what?
Eat your cupcake.
Let me tell you this.
Get your cupcake.
Let me tell you this.
Your blood sugar's dropping.
Let me tell you this. Usually when teams are good, they win. So I don't understand your theory.
Because both those
when
teams.
Auburn's good, you don't beat us.
Both teams.
You're right about that.
No, both teams have showed up at that game good, and we've won every one of them.
But when you look at the 82-game body of work,
yeah, that's right.
You come up short.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. It's about Auburn. It has nothing. You guys are irrelevant. It's about us.
Yeah, you come up short.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to jack my chair up.
Why don't you just stand up?
Now, I will agree, year in and year out, the Iron Bowl is Auburn's Super Bowl. That is pretty much what they are playing for every year.
Yeah,
that's the thing. When we talk about this scheduling and all these issues, and we want to talk about cupcakes, let's look at last year for an example. Auburn walks out of the Iron Bowl.
That's what Auburn worries about right there. See that from Rodney Williamson? Ramrod, Auburn has prettiest uniforms. As long as the spirit rag's hanging just right.
At least we don't change them. Like you guys have.
We'll have to jump into that in a minute. I missed that one.
I'll be happy to.
When the last time Alabama has changed a uniform?
Huh?
We put a little hound sense around the collar.
No. He's talking about colors.
Let me tell you something. And this is dating me a little bit, and I understand if you guys don't get it, okay? But in the 70s, you guys were crimson.
He was standing, Jonathan.
You were crimson. But then when the 80s came in and it became a bigger business, y'all went from Pony to Nike, got you a better contract. Nike knew early on you can't sell crimson. It's unsellable. It's nasty. It's ugly. Nobody's going to buy it. Whether it has sleeves in it or not, they're not going to buy it. So Nike started lightening up the pigmentation.
I'll give him one.
And y'all are now candy apple red. Y'all are candy apple red. You're one shade away from being candy apple red because you can sell it.
Does that look candy apple red?
You can't. No, the helmets have stayed crimson. The jerseys have it.
Oh, the jerseys.
They don't sell helmets. They sell all over. You see Rodney Gumps. Hey, he got. What number are you going to be this weekend?
He watches.
What number are you wearing this weekend?
17.
So y'all changed your jerseys, but you did it because that's where the money was. You had to do it. Nike made you do it.
I don't know if that's factual.
It's not. What's more factual is there's a certain college, major college in this state, who almost solely supported a state-owned, state-run family clothing business by the name of Russell, and they left them high and dry and went from the orange Auburn, which Auburn is a color, to a burnt orange color, more resembling
for the Tigerettes
Tennessee.
out there.
Yes.
Speaking of clothing,
now that's
can bring
a
up-
change.
was it Tuscaloosa menswear? What was it called?
I don't know.
That's my buddy.
Oh, I know. I know.
That's my guy.
He's got 85 of them every year.
That's my guy.
Tie-town menswear.
Look, you have no facts there.
And that guy would not stop traffic.
That's right.
He would not get out and stop traffic for any of the players.
He ran a clean operation. He did not offer me as much as DJ did back during my recruiting time. DJ came with a lot more than a suit.
We all need to catch our breath here just a little. Ken, can you cue up the kick six, please? That was just last year.
Oh, he's going to do it too, probably.
I mean, if y'all talk about recent history, that was last year.
Well, what was amazing is that all growing up, when we would talk about 92, we would be talked about living in the past. That was what Auburn threw at Alabama all the time. Since I've been watching this show, I've seen the kick six like 8 times probably,
and heard them talk about it.
Is that not living in the past?
It was last year.
Last year we came out in the second half and handled business. That was last year.
That was last year.
Yeah,
I'll check the tape.
Last year we were in the national championship,
and that's a fact. Which brings
I didn't say we won it.
Which brings me to the point that I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
When we talk about scheduling and when we talk about cupcakes and such, let's take last year's body of work for both teams. Auburn walks out of the Iron Bowl and they go play Purdue.
Yes, a good
Boilermakers.
Purdue.
Good Purdue team.
Alabama walks out of the Iron Bowl.
Who did we play in the postseason?
Alabama walks out of the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
Georgia, Oklahoma, Clemson.
Oh, golly, those are cupcakes. Those three right there.
Those three represent
Georgia,
what we did in the offseason.
Oklahoma, Clemson.
Go ahead. Yeah, you did. You're right. That's a fact. Those are 3 teams you played.
Yeah. So my thing when it comes to scheduling year in and year out, and I was talking about this last night on Facebook.
I told him this last week.
We have to take into consideration that we're going to be playing 3 extra games every year.
Our postseason.
I mean,
I told him that last
I
show.
feel like y'all.
As long as teams are voted in, you might very well be right. I think Alabama could go 7-5 and stand a chance of getting voted into.
Well, Auburn can't because they did it last year.
That's right. You're right. You just made my point. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
But if Auburn had won 5 out of the 10 last national championships, do you feel like they would be treated differently?
Let's give them some credit. Yeah. They've won 1 out of the last 10. How many have we won?
We've won 2. We've won 5.
We've won 2
out of the last 10.
Yep.
Which one are you counting?
2010 and 2013. We claimed it.
Refresh my memory on 2013.
Us and Florida State played to a tie.
Was it?
Is that a fact though?
Well,
was it fair?
Is that a fact?
The 2013 it was a meaningless exhibition.
Something happened.
Football game.
And really, if you want to be fair, you want to be factual.
We were the SEC champions.
Want to be fair and factual?
We were the SEC champions.
Clearly, that guy's knee was down against Oregon, and y'all shouldn't have won that game.
Yeah, so it balances out.
It balances out.
Yeah,
we'll give you 2013, but we're going to take
the
2010.
exhibition games mean nothing. The fact that y'all were dumb enough to go play play Oklahoma and play Clemson. That's stupid.
Oh, in exhibition game?
That's stupid. Really? So get somebody hurt.
Really? You see that?
Get somebody hurt.
Yeah, there it is.
You got people there. Let's watch it.
And not only that, you got Timmy Wiggins
step out of bounds right there. That's one. He steps out of bounds twice.
He'll step out right here. Watch. Block in the back right there.
Yeah. Right.
It's a block in the
right
back.
there.
Right there. He
Out
stepped
of
out.
bounds. Yeah.
And a block in the back.
Let's see if they charge the field. I bet they don't.
Yeah, I guarantee you Gus paid him off.
Ken, I'm taking my gift back. You just lost your gift.
Oh, wow. Told you it was last year.
Gosh.
Jesse, his gift goes to you. So just so you know, Jesse, the gift goes to you. He's not getting it.
Let me tell you something that may shock y'all. The biggest spoke in this wheel is the guy behind the curtain. Play it again, Ken.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Is the sound on it?
Look at this. He really thought he was going to make this. That's poor coaching. That's poor coaching. It's up. It's got a chance.
Is it 46 to 36? This pulled them one closer, right? Because all time, 46-36.
Yeah, I mean, if not for that lucky play.
Don't do it, CD.
Blocking the
They're not
back.
gonna keep 'em
Coach
off the
interference.
field
Should have threw a flag right there because the coach is out in the field.
Yeah, I would have.
And see, and you talk about us
League of
getting all this
participation.
homer love, the media and everybody that's not part of the Alabama nation hates Alabama. This is a perfect example of how Auburn gets away with stuff that's uncalled for,
Preach.
that's ridiculous,
Preach.
that is over the line,
Preach.
that is unbelievable.
Love button.
I mean,
like button.
it is
Giggle button.
despicable. It's ruining college
Preach.
football. It's
Love
almost
it.
as bad as Target's
Like it.
bathrooms. It's awful.
You're the best.
It is horrible. Now, let me say this.
Welcome to Studio C.
Let me
You're a
say
factual
this.
guy.
I do love the fact. I'll give Auburn a compliment. They're actually holding Harvey responsible instead of the Spike 80 responsible, so the rest of the nation needs to get on that bandwagon, and I'll back off from that.
No.
Let me tell you something. I'm not blaming it. It wasn't Harvey.
Y'all shouldn't have peed on anybody's grave.
I want you to go to a place mentally, and I want you to think for a second. Think of the pictures of Harvey that you've seen, okay? You got it? Now look to your left. Right there. If I've never seen a more clear case
Did your mom really
of mistaken identity,
Is that a joke? She did.
there's Maurice over there. He did it. They got the wrong guy.
He does not look like a chemist.
I can tell you this much.
Updike's a patsy.
Listen, I can tell you this much.
Updike's a patsy.
Another fine example of how Alabama is better than Auburn. I figured out where his laptop was hidden on the show. Auburn police never figured it out.
Yeah, I heard that. In the fire pit, right?
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll tide. Why didn't they get that on the planes? That was easy.
What's that?
That was an easy one.
Yeah.
Where the
What's going
laptop
on?
was hidden.
He's a patsy. They had the wrong
His
guy.
cord.
I had
He
called
sit right here
Coach
on this-
Tuberville.
on our
I called
first
Coach
show.
Tuberville. I said, Coach, I know who did it. I've seen the mugshot. I know the guy. He's in Wetumpka. He has a mild to severe limp.
Oh, that's over the line. Over the line.
And that's because of Chris Davis.
There it is.
There it is.
You tell me. All right, let me ask you this. You and I have varsity letterman's jackets. Is that faux? Or did he buy that off eBay? Is that faux?
Winning.
The headgear.
Come on, man.
They got it at Jet Pep. I don't see the fish hooks.
Jet Pep.
I don't see
Hey,
the.
my buddy owns the Jet Peps in Tuscaloosa. Be easy on that.
Oh, he's a rich man. He's a rich
He
man.
played ball at Bama,
Now,
too.
does he have both kinds of hats? The ones with fish hooks and ones without?
We'll have to get Tripp on here to talk
I'm
about
fixing
it.
to knock him out.
Put your helmet on. Strap it up.
We're
Let's
going to
go.
strap it on.
Let's
You
do
keep it up.
I just still, even though like we get out here talking about all this, at the end of the day, it still goes back to 46-36.
Look.
You have to.
I forgot.
That's where it kind of stops. It's just a fact.
I forgot to preface this show the way we have prefaced the first three.
Tell him, Trent.
And I hope that people get this and what we do. This is the not so serious show for the serious fan.
That's exactly what it is. And we like to have fun.
But see, I think he's picking this time right here to try to plant that seed in me because I'm a facts guy, and so when you're a facts guy, I guess it just shuts everything down.
That's his GHB.
I don't want to.
He can get you mellowed and calmed down.
I don't want to shut the I don't want to shut the thing down. Just
keep the narrative
by
going. Let's
saying,
go. Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm good
I
with
don't
that.
want to. I don't want to bust all
You're a
this
facts
up.
guy. You're the
but
facts guy. So I want you
The
to hit
facts
him
have
with
to be
some
taken
facts.
into account.
I want you to hit him with some facts.
I mean, you and I kind of discussed this. How I think we're all so lucky.
Let me do this real quick.
Go ahead.
People that don't know, this is Trent Davidson. Played tight end at University of Alabama from 04 to
04 to 08, I graduated in 08. I went out with injury before
Why'd you
that.
get out so quick?
He's not a doctor or a chemist.
I was not a doctor.
Now look what he's got up. Goodfellas, baby.
Who could that be? Oh. That's a nice piece.
I'm telling you, this is my real hair.
Yeah. That's a helmet.
There's no way that hair's fake for it to stay on after taking that helmet off. So that kind of proved it.
Gorilla glue.
So anyway, I just wanted to introduce you to everybody because we have we started a new stream so everybody knows who you are. So.
I might make some of them mad because, you know, what we were talking about the other day, you and I are so lucky because we get to be part of a 46-36 type rivalry on the collegiate level. And then we all get to enjoy being part of a 53-23 Battle of Murder Creek. Yes. Rivalry.
Yes.
So, you know, I feel so fortunate.
Go Trent, go! Go Trent, go!
I feel so fortunate to be part of the NCAA football dominant rivalry and the high school dominant rivalry, and I wish that part of me wants you to experience that, but then I know that I would have to sacrifice. So it's just really special whenever you can be winner. And get to hold that.
Things have worked out the way they should have.
You know what? It's scary because I've had the same thoughts.
Yeah.
About that. That's why I'm not so hard on the little fella during this show.
46-36 and then 53.
I mean, really, the only thing he's got to hang his hat on is T.R. Miller, and that's let's face it, we've kind of been a little slumping here lately. Hopefully, we got the right coach in there and we're making a comeback, but. Gosh, I would hate to see if Miller because most of the years in Auburn's terrible, Miller's always good. So his weekend's not totally ruined. Mm-hmm. But I would hate to see if both of them ever declined at the same time.
That'd be rough.
How bad it would be. It'd be bad for the little fella. But I'm glad you're a facts guy.
Yeah, and I wanted to bring those facts out. I mean, I'm so proud to have been a part of both of them. I think it's you're
lucky.
I don't know what it is about having a child that all of a sudden you just get crazy emotional. You know, I mean, it's like
time becomes something more real.
Yeah,
and you can really see it in them.
And I don't want us to get away from the joking and all, but I mean, goodness gracious, man, it's. I mean,
even 1 second matters.
It can.
You know what that's called? That's called reading a punch and deflecting,
right?
So it doesn't hurt his back.
Oh yeah,
you know it's coming.
He was going to bring it.
He
was over there. He was waiting.
So you take
the
sting out of it.
That's
you roll
right.
with a punch.
You know, BMP is going to afford me, I hope, the platform and the opportunity to right a lot of wrong. Hey, Tony.
Oh my God!
For all your hairpiece needs, call 212-555-HAIR.
Good to see a new sponsor on board, I guess.
T-Bone, Maurice.
Oh, man.
He's a good fella. He's a good fella.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
A good fella.
He's a good fella.
But very, very fortunate to be part of two of the best programs there are.
And I don't normally do this, but you kind of my man crush. Show us that ring you got up there.
So I brought a few of them out. I always wear the one from the Cotton Bowl, but every 5 years when I get to come back from homecoming, I like to break out the two from the 2000 state championship and the 02 state championship. So that's what those are. And obviously the one that's more important than anything, this little one over here, that's the real one there. Mm-hmm. So, hey, sweetie.
Hey, that one will cost you a lot more than those will in the long
run. Blood, sweat, and tears for all, huh?
Exactly. But you know what's the great thing about all those rings? You earned every one of them.
Oh, yeah.
You earned them. It was one on the field.
Yeah. No doubt. And I'll tell you, man.
Weren't you picked to be in the Cotton Bowl?
You weren't voted on any of these. Well, no popularity vote.
Well, it was.
You had to go.
To get selected to get on the Cotton Bowl, it was
no, they earned it. They won enough games. They were chosen to play in the Cotton Bowl.
Just like you're chosen to be in the playoffs. I mean, what's the difference?
You have to earn it.
What is the difference?
There's a big difference. There's a big difference.
But when you get in and you win it, then the right decision.
You still haven't won anything in David's mind.
The right decision was
unless
made.
You're Auburn.
It's got to be settled on the field. Every other sport at every other level.
So are you going to reject?
We can do it in college football.
Are you going to reject the 2010 and the 1957 one?
I'm saying they're all mythical, all of them.
So are you rejecting
Auburn 7, y'all's 12, And Notre Dame's 7 or 6, whatever they got, whatever. I mean, everybody's.
We have 17.
Until it's settled on the field and you win something to go play for something bigger, none of them count. And I'm sorry, they don't.
So, but you would name us the Iron Bowl national championship holder.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
What?
Well, no.
Because the King Six was last year.
Last year, you won. You won last year's game.
But I'm talking about the overall body of work.
No. We played every one of them at your home field up until '89. Hey,
Y'all aren't an anywhere, anytime type team?
Mr. Factman.
They were last week.
Mr. Factman.
Not now because it doesn't suit his
Since the
needs.
games went to each other's campuses, what's the overall record?
Here we go.
I look at a whole body of work.
Add it up. Add it up.
But now, see, you're not wanting to take into the whole body of work.
He don't, because it doesn't suit his narrative.
Because y'all had such a stranglehold.
We're here to help you.
I'm going to take it a step further.
No, we know you are.
This thing is so deep and so intertwined and twisted and crooked and cheated.
What's your poll?
No. Until they get the SEC office out of Birmingham, it's never going to be completely fair, and there's no reason for it to be there.
So where are you going to move it? The moon?
Atlanta.
The moon?
Atlanta.
No, that's too close to Athens. Because when they start with
you move it to Atlanta.
Because,
that's where we choose to play our conference championship. It shouldn't be in Birmingham. Do you know who the number 2 man in the SEC is in terms of the hierarchy?
The commissioner? Because Saban's number 1.
Who's number 2?
I have no idea.
Mark Womack. Look him up. Google him.
He played offensive line at Alabama?
He's the day-to-day operator of the conference, and I want you to look at his background.
Why don't you tell us and save us some looking?
I'm not. You Google it.
Is that your cliffhanger?
You Google it, and you come to your own conclusions.
I
the SEC office, SEC office should not be in Birmingham, Alabama.
I love how you kind of leave things dangling out there.
DJ, what I'm worried about is that you're really starting to lean towards being like a Vol fan.
No.
That's because what I keep hearing is like we're not talking about football.
Hey, Jeremy,
we keep getting away from football.
No, it's deeper than football.
I know, but
he will never,
it's not.
ever be a Vol fan because he cannot tune a carburetor.
Well,
okay, anything mechanical.
But he sounds like when they went through the life victories.
Built by Bama.
You know when they went through the life victories and all that. That's kind of where.
Speaking of Jeremy Pruitt,
it's so crooked.
Speaking of Jeremy Pruitt, did y'all read I guess it was may have been yesterday or today. Rush Propst come out talking about the offense and for y'all that don't know, Jeremy Pruitt worked for Rush Propst at Hoover High School at one time. So now he's got his old coach making comments about his coaching ability.
Well,
I didn't read all of it. Honestly, I didn't read any of it because
they have looked bad.
Because Rush Propst just kind of rubs me the wrong way for some reason. I don't know if I still have that stigma from the television show that he was on, and maybe he said nice things about him, but just the fact that it made headlines.
Yeah.
That made headlines that he said something about one of his former players who's now succeeded went on beyond him. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Let's talk about a couple of games, and then we're going to go to the top 5. We're getting short on time, up against a hard break. Let's work it. Each of the past 2 weeks, we have talked about a group of people who have insinuated that one team might be another team by a certain amount of points. We don't condone it. We don't encourage it. This is entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment purposes only.
Through 2 weeks against the spread is what we call it. I'm 2-0. That's a fact.
Wow.
Tony is 1-1. That's a fact. He picked incorrectly, I might add, Clemson last week, and I tried to tell you Jimbo Fisher, the best coach in the country, would not get beat by 17.5 points.
No, he got beat by 16.
Those comments kill your credibility.
I tried to.
Just saying.
15 or 16. What did he get beat? It was 16.
They got beat by 14.
14.
He's
Sorry.
not the best coach.
He's the best coach in the country.
He's really not.
Anyway, let's move on.
The best coach in the country ain't getting beat by 14 points.
Best coach. We're going to pick our games this week.
You could have said something.
We're going to pick our games this week. You want to go first? You want Trent to go first?
I softballed that one. Go, Trent. We'll let the guests go first.
What's the game you're going to pick?
I'm going to pick NC State. I'm going to go with NC State. I believe the good guys have them at a 6.5, and so
as a favorite.
They are.
There's a group of people that think that NC State might win that game by 6.5 points.
There's a group of people that feel like that, and they're playing West Virginia.
And you're going to take NC State.
I'm taking NC State.
6.5. All right, T-Bone.
Well, I was torn. I was looking at two games, Kansas State versus Mississippi State. Kansas State was getting 7.5. And then Florida and Kentucky caught my eye. Kentucky was getting 8, and I really liked that. And then I remembered the quarterback's out.
Sawyer Smith, Troy transfer, going to start Saturday.
That scares me. So
Don't sleep on him.
It scares me, so I'm not going to get on that game. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump on the Kansas State-Mississippi State game. Kansas State is getting 7.5 points. I like Mississippi State.
You're taking Mississippi State. That's your pick.
Yes.
For me, this was very easy. This was the easiest of the 3 weeks for me. And I'm 2-0, by the way. But when I saw the numbers that these group of people came up with, there was a game that was just like a neon light blinking. There's a group of people that think that Alabama University
of Alabama
is going to beat South Carolina by 26 points. Well, let me tell you something. Will Muschamp is one of the worst head football coaches in college football.
Partially built by Auburn.
And partially built by Saban.
One for Trent.
Alabama University is going to destroy South Carolina. So I would lay the 26, and I would take Candy Apple Red, Alabama.
It's crimson.
On the road. Or are they at home this week? They're on the road, aren't they?
On the road.
On the road at South Carolina. That's my pick. Staying with it.
You're taking that's a big spread.
Well, Judy's playing, right?
Yeah, Judy's playing.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
For a half, anyway.
We'll see. He won't need to play much more than that. That's what I'm taking.
That's why the good fellas love folks like y'all.
Yep.
That's a big line for on the road for a road
I feel
game.
that the number will be around 35 to 38 that we win by. So
I hope you're right.
That's what I feel like.
I hope you're right.
All right, well, let's move on to the top 5.
Let me say that there's a lot of people and a lot of them that are tuned in that feel like your poll has no credibility.
Okay. I get it.
Yeah, his poll is irrelevant. You don't know how many times he's been told that.
Let me tell you something. Unlike other people who rank teams, I'm fair. It's strictly on body of work with a little bit of how you finished last year sprinkled in. A little bit.
Even though
He's
that shouldn't matter.
I don't know. I did.
He was just saying 5 minutes ago.
He's never said that before.
My top 2 have not changed. Clemson is number 1 because they won a meaningless exhibition game at the end of last year's football season. So I do put them 1. I was not impressed with them against Texas A&M. I don't think they're as good as they were last year. They may get there, but I haven't seen it in 2 weeks now. But I got them at number 1. Probably consistently the most impressive team in the country for 3 years running now has been the University of Central Florida. They have not lost a regular season game going on 3 years, so until somebody gets them, they're going to be at number 2.
And y'all started all that. Dadgummit.
Now, here's where I'm fair and other people aren't. The best win to date is the LSU Tigers at Austin against Texas. 5 weeks down the road, that may prove not to be as big a win as we think it is, but through 3 weeks, that was a big win.
Or maybe Clemson over Texas A&M.
Last week I had Auburn number 3. I'm putting LSU at number 3. I'm a fair guy. Number 4, I'm going to take the most honorable man in college football, the best quarterback in college football, maybe a young man who may go on and become president of the United States, given the adversity he has worked through and the class he has shown in doing so, the Oklahoma Sooners and Jalen Hurts, number 4. They are proud to be affiliated with him.
Oh, my gosh.
And number 5, I got Auburn because they do have the win over Oregon. It's still a quality win.
Surprise.
And not everybody else has played cupcakes. But I'm going to say this. You won't let me finish. There are other teams I'm watching.
Tell me some teams you're watching.
I've taken Michigan off the table for the moment.
Yeah.
Squeaker with Army does not bode well for them. I do like Ohio State's team. I'm going to watch them.
Okay.
I still like Florida. I was on Florida early. I'm going to stay with Florida. I like them.
Did you watch the Miami game?
I did. I like it, but I understand football. Remember, X's are defense, O's are offense. I like Dan Mullen more specifically. I'm going to watch Alabama University.
University of Alabama.
It's hard to gauge them at this point, is based off who they played. This is, and I think y'all will agree with this. this is probably the worst team they've played all year. South Carolina, I don't give a crap about being an SEC school. South Carolina sucks. They suck.
They're not good, but they're a lot better.
Duke would beat South Carolina by 2 touchdowns.
State. They're a lot better than New Mexico State.
You're outside of your mind.
You're still talking about SEC players.
Duke would beat South Carolina.
You're still talking about an SEC roster.
Duke would beat South Carolina.
He's fair. He's fair, Trent. Remember, he's fair.
But that's it. And so next week it's liable to be all jumbled up and mixed up again, but that's what we're going with.
Well, when you look into the future, does it bother you in your poll that this is a 4-loss Auburn team most likely?
I will say this.
4 if they're lucky.
I will say this, and once again, I'll say it again next week. When Auburn goes to A&M, I don't think A&M's great. That's a big game for Auburn. Auburn loses that game, then there are likely several more losses on the slate. If they can continue to win and continue to improve, who knows?
And I had them beating Texas A&M. I got them losing to LSU, Bama, Georgia, Florida.
I had them losing to Florida and Georgia. But we'll see. Oklahoma, I thought was a coin flip.
Tell him how you think the West is going to shake out this year.
I had 4 teams finishing 6-2.
You had a 4-way tie.
I got a 4-way tie. I had Auburn losing to Florida and Georgia. I had Texas A&M losing to Auburn and Alabama. I had LSU losing to Auburn and Texas A&M, and I had Alabama losing to LSU and Auburn.
So tiebreaker goes to Auburn?
It would. Mm-hmm.
See how easy that's fair. Convenient that all worked out?
That's fair.
That was a prediction. That's a prediction.
Okay.
That's a prediction. We'll see.
Yeah, we will.
We'll see.
They do play the games.
We'll see. Yeah.
Disclaimer, people. There is more than one poll, and most polls are better than DJ's. So if you want to see a good poll, look somewhere else.
Everybody's got one. I only worry about mine.
We know that's true.
Oh, man.
Is that it? Trent.
No, we're fixing to strap it on do bull in the ring.
Yeah. I think y'all need to put on these helmets and let's get out here in the yard.
Trent, I'm going to tap you in to sub for me.
Trent. So kind of you to come in and be with us.
Oh, man, it was awesome.
I hope we didn't waste too much of your time.
I had a blast. Thank you all so much for having me.
Get another visit later in the year, maybe.
Yes, please. This is awesome.
Depending on the season goes.
Yeah, we'll see.
So Trent Davidson, former T.R. Miller standout, tight end, former tight end for the University of Alabama, on the show tonight. Thank you for your time, Trent.
Thank y'all.
You're awesome. You're welcome back anytime.
War Eagle Roll Tide in the books again. Another great show, T-Bone. Safe travels to you heading back to Tuscaloosa. Appreciate your effort coming down. Want to certainly thank our executive producer, Ken James, for getting us out there. It doesn't happen without him. Want to thank all of you for being a part of it, for being with us. If you feel led to do so, please like and share, tag friends, and let's have a good time each and every time we get together. Y'all have a great weekend, safe weekend. War Eagle.
Roll Tide. We'll do better next time.